What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the channel. New video today. This one is going to be on CRO. I'll tell you why I chose this coin. I'll make it brief, all right? So let's keep this intro under a minute. I'm going to give you guys a breakdown on the coin, give you guys my key levels, going to give you the upside possibilities here, and an invalidation for the downside. I'm covering this coin because I get asked about it a lot. The reason I get asked about it is, well, they have a huge Facebook, you know, presence, and a lot of my friends, it seems like, have been involved with crypto.com at some point. So I get a lot of questions about CRO, and this coin is really beat down. So a lot of people are very interested in when can they unload their CRO, because a lot of people have been holding it a long time. I think you have to use it as part of some rewards program. I don't use crypto.com or CRO. I have no opinion of them. I'm just going to tell you guys what the charts say, okay? So stick around. You're going to like what we get into. I did choose this one not only because I got a lot of people that I know that have asked me about it, but also it's different. It's not something like Link or Polkadot, things that like every single channel is covering. So this is a unique coin, and we've got some very clear ranges here. So first and foremost, this is your overall range. If we take a look at the VPVR, that's how I found this. You can see that this is your value area high and your value area low. So you've established decent support here between 7 cents and 5 cents. So that's going to be very, very key in the future, potentially. Hopefully it's not. If it is key in the future, that's bad because it means it's coming back down here. But what you can see, and why I wanted to show this to you, is that you've got a huge volume node here and then another big one up here. And I went ahead and just pulled the range by hand up here. So the reason I'm pointing that out is it's a B shape. And so what that means is you're likely to come up here and test the median of that B shape because you've got this gap right here. Okay, so you got low volume gap. And then you've got a high volume node up here. And so this high volume area will act as a magnet if you can clear the low volume gap here. So what it implies is a test up into this range. Now this is the point of control of the upper range at about 16 cents. So it does have the potential, if it can claim 13 cents here and make its way into this range, 16 cents is on the table. Then after that, you do have the upper hand of the range here, and you can see it's your last high volume node and the monthly level, one of the only monthly levels on this chart because there's not a lot of data. You've got one monthly down here for really good support and one monthly up here for what appears to be very good resistance. We'll call it the boss level. Now I am going to look at this in log scale, and the reason I'm looking at it in log scale is because this thing has just absolutely been destroyed and it makes Fibonacci work almost impossible. That's how we're going to go about it. Now, there were some obvious signs for this thing to bounce. I wish I'd looked at it sooner. You had higher lows across the board along with lower lows and price action, so all you were waiting on was that reversal. You did get the reversal. You had a nice cipher right here, and now you've got another harmonic forming. It was easy to spot. You've got this very distinct wick right here. I would expect us to make a move like this. This is called a bat pattern, and I'll show you the schematic on it here in just a second. Doing something like this up into that like 12.3 to 13 cent range. If you come over to harmonictrader.com, that is harmonictrader.com, Scott Carney, he actually has like a little list of like the basic harmonics and how they operate and then how to use them. And this would be a bearish bat. You can see that we're making the 0.382 to 0.5 retrace up to an 886 for C, and then an 886 with a 16182 extension for D. So you are doing that with CRO right here. You can see that all of the metrics are met, right? And we do have resistance here. That's the most important part, is context. A lot of people do harmonics poorly because they fail to take into account context. Now the context of this is resistance. This is the overall range value area high. It's also a daily level right here. And it's your last major swing high before really final capitulation. So this is a key area. There's a lot of traders up here that are probably trapped, right? So I would bear that in mind. Now, I would expect a reaction off of this level. I'm going to go ahead and just draw a box, not to make the chart any more convoluted than it already is. We should have Fibonacci confluence there as well. We always want to get those extra confluences, and you do. So that's really nice. You've got the overall 236 of your all-time high to all-time low. That's these coordinates right here, $2 down to 5.2 cents. So your very first real major retrace comes in there. Now the .133, which is kind of a unique Fibonacci level that I like to use, along with the .702, is coming in here. And one thing to really make note of is that Coming back down to this level right here, this is like the I have to hold this support. If I lose this support, this is bad. Like this is real bad at that point, in my opinion. Now, it doesn't mean it can't come down here and reaccumulate off the lows, guys. That's not what I'm saying. It's just it's not a good look. It's because then you have failed to make a higher high right here. The real most important high is this swing high right here. It's the very first step to going bullish and making an uptrend. And you get rejected there, sell off, and then make a lower low and lose the trend, you're more than likely coming back down into this almost 5 cent region here at the monthly. That's what you're looking down to if you lose this level. So, and if you lose that level, you lose the monthly. That's even worse because this is exactly what happens when you make lows. You go into price discovery for an all-time low and you make a lower low. I'm not expecting that to happen. I'm expecting this to come up here, get a decent reaction off of it, and then we need to basically identify where could we maybe find an area of value to get long off of, or at least keep an eye on. You can see the weekly is coming in all the way down here at 8 cents. I think that's a little far. And then you've got this one at 11 cents, which might be a little too close. So if we take a look at this section of price right here before it capitulated, right, you will notice that you have a nice point of control in this range coming in at about 10 cents all the way down to almost 9 cents for the range highs, which would also be a back test of what looks like this double bottom structure, right? So if we were to put in one more range, not to, like I said, not to make this a very convoluted chart, but we're going to go ahead and start getting into it because that's what we do as traders. Sometimes it's got to get a little messy. Yeah, so this would be the range that you're operating within right here. So now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all the PA, and now this cleans up kind of nice. We've got a little bit more of a workable range here. We know that the overall point of control is coming in here. We know that the range lows are right around 5 cents, and the range highs are in this box. So we don't need that big range anymore. So what you want to see is if price does come up here and get a rejection, you essentially just want to see that if it comes up here, we want to see it come down and form a higher low somewhere in this region. The point of control is obviously of interest, so that's going to be your first bounce zone. If it doesn't make it, obviously you're looking down to bottom of the range at about 8 to 9 cents. I would rather not go that route, but it's always on the table, guys. And so you want to see that do that, reaccumulate, and then come up and then gain the daily level here, regain that 13-cent level. If price can do that, and that's big if. These are the contingencies. These are if-then statements. I would look for that move up to about 14, 15 cents pretty quick probably. This is a gapped volume area. There's not much here. And then you've got the point of control at 16 cents. That becomes a target. We turn our fib retracements back on. You can see I've got no major fib retracements there either. So what it tells me is that if you can find your way into this range, start living in here, you know, maybe you come up here, get rejected, back test the old range, come back up, and now you're living in here and you're still doing the, you know, the consolidation thing, and you start forming like an ascending triangle, right? And it's got higher lows across the board, and then off you go. So that's how accumulation works in an uptrend. Maybe you do get that, maybe you don't. We don't know because we don't have that data yet, but what we can say is that if we can get in this range and live here, that 17 cents and 17.99 cents is really your last big hurdle, in my opinion, before you make at least some sizable move. And I would say the sizable move I'm looking for is about 32 to 33 cents. I'd say 31 to 33 cents. I would say this 50% retrace is pretty juicy, but your annual pivot is all the way up here at 69 cents. That's crazy to me. And it's untapped. So that operates as like a bought and algo target. So should you get out of this range at 17 cents and live above it, I do think you'll see that low 30-cent region pretty quick. And this is coming in very close to your overall golden pocket here. Let's turn on our fringe golden pocket, the .702, one of my favorites as well, kind of an obscure one with the 1.33, and you begin to look up into this region. And this is like pure hopium here, guys. This could be way down the line. This could never happen. I don't know. But this would begin to become your target. Anything over this, and it is just a Fibonacci game at that point. I do think that you probably just run to all-time highs if you can clear this pivot. If you can get over 70 cents on CRO, you'll probably go to all-time highs. There's just nothing up here, you know, but that's a really far way away. So what we need to focus on are the baby steps. The things that you need to keep an eye on for now are basically, can we get above 12.49 cents and hold it? If we can, we need to get above 15 cents, hold that. Obviously, your point of control is at 16. It's not as important as you might think. What is really important in this scenario is getting above the monthly at 17.99 or just getting out of this range. I would just probably extend it to the monthly for conservatism. So basically, we'll just call it 13 cents. Then I want to see 15 cents. Then I want to see 18 cents taken out. If they can take those out, I'm looking up to probably about 31 to 33 cents. Anything over that, and you've got this really nice box where it's kind of a crapshoot, but I think anywhere from 49 cents all the way to 70 cents is on the table, and you can start narrowing it down from there. There's just not enough data for me to really narrow down the resistance in this region, unfortunately. So that's how I'm looking at CRO. Kept this video to about 10 minutes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I am going to make another altcoin update for some of the majors that I cover every day. If you guys are curious about my Bitcoin roadmap to 63K to 68K, take a look at it. I did that video today, and I think it's a little unique. You don't find that stuff anywhere. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great day.